Hey, hey, hey. You know what day it is? What day is it? It's Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. It's Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Yeah, yeah. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Hey, boo, hey, it's your girl, Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and your personal life coach, here with another weekly dose and serving of tea on Tuesday Tea with D. And so, as you can see, I got my little thing here covering up, keeping it warm, my little tea cover. And today's tea is my my elderberry fortress tea. And I figured I would do this today because the seasons are changing. My little person then came down with something. I think he done got the kid cooties from school. And so I'm like, listen, we're going to fight all the things. You hear me? This morning, I made him some fresh ginger tea with some honey and some lemon and a little bit of this in it, along with a little bit of cayenne pepper, honey, because we trying to kick that thing out. It can't stay here. You hear me? Mm. And so you already know that this tea is good because it's one of my faves, right? And so we're going to cover this up. Just tickle pink. Now, I will say that this actually goes to another cup of mine. But of course, we can't use any other cup other than the Tuesday Tea with D mug. So we are using the Tuesday Tea with D mug with this cover, which is fine with me, honey, because it's just keeping the tea warm. So we have got some juicy stuff to share today. And today's conversation is called Who's Filling Your Cup? And so you've heard me talk about this a number of times. You'll probably hear me talk about it again, simply because when it comes up and I feel like there's something that resonates where I should have this conversation with you as my faithful tribe or somebody who's new, I want to be able to have that conversation with you. And so I'm actually going to be asking you some questions, and we're not really going to talk about the questions, but I'm just going to say, get your journal ready, write the questions down, and be prepared to answer yourself as it relates to the questions on what this looks like, right? And so before we go into this, I want to share with you, you all know that I Speak Life Live is coming up. And one of the things that I am doing next Saturday, September 30th, it is. And I don't know why I didn't put the date on here, but this is called Experience the Prelude. This is a sneak peek and preview of the I Speak Life Empowerment Experience for Women. It's happening here locally in Buffalo, New York, next Saturday, 11:30 to 2:30. And one of the things that I will share is you can go to TrueheartSpeaks.com. I'll put that there so that you can get more information. TrueheartSpeaks.com. If you type, hit the top of the banner and click the prelude, you'll get all of the details. It's $67. It's a nominal fee to join me. And I'm really excited about it because for some people who have never been in my space, who've never been to a live event with me, this will give you an opportunity. It'll give you a little taste, right? Taste and see. And so it's a sneak peek, a preview of 3 days that you're going to spend with me. You'll get to spend 3 hours with me, which I think is going to be amazing. So go to TrueheartSpeaks.com, click the prelude at the top banner. There's also, I think, a graphic on the homepage of my website, and you can click register there as well to get all of the details. But I'm really excited about that. The other thing that I'm excited about, obviously, is the official event, iSpeaklifelive.com, iSpeaklifelive.com. And so I definitely want you to go and get your ticket. Early bird tickets are still available. And so you have an opportunity to join me December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 2023 in Niagara Falls. And I think one of the things that I just noticed on that flyer says Niagara Falls, but it's not Niagara Falls, Niagara Falls. It's Niagara Falls, New York, y'all, which I hope you noticed that. But go to iSpeaklifelive.com if you're ready to register and maybe you've just been waiting. And I do want to let you know that The 4 pay option for the VIP ticket and the general ticket will end at the end of this month. And so if you like to spread your payments out and you prefer not to pay, not that you don't have it, but you just don't prefer not to pay it all at once, this option is going to be leaving. And so if that's something that you've been thinking about, I want to encourage you to go on ahead and make that investment. The other thing is I want to encourage you to make the investment before the tickets, specifically VIP tickets, sell out. We only have 2 left, right? So with that being said, let's have conversation today around today's topic of who is filling your cup. And to be honest, this conversation comes up a lot because that's just part of my teaching around helping you to get quiet, get clear, get focused so that you can get moving, get out of your own way. And part of that in that framework is, making sure that while you are pouring into everyone else, that you have someone who pours into you. You have someone who is, you can't be filling and pouring at the same time. Like, while you're consistently pouring, you need somebody, or you need a system or a process. You need something, right, to be filling you. You can't just continuously be pouring and then at some point pouring from an empty cup. And we talked about that, yes, there's a saying that you can't pour from an empty cup, but you can, because we do it all the time. And that's where burnout and exhaustion come. Even sometimes sickness and illness come, because we are overexerting ourselves when we should be resting, we should be refreshing, replenishing, doing all the things, right? And so with that being said, who's filling your cup? And so I have a few questions here that I really am just kind of going to go down and list, because I want you to start thinking about the different types of ways, or even just what it looks like to fill your cup. And so the first is, how often are you filling your cup? Right. And so, yes, you pour out, but well, let me start here. You pour out, but where are you being poured back into? Who's filling you? Right? Where are you going? Right? And so in that space, like, where do you go to fill back up? How often are you filling your cup? Like, is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it quarterly? Is it, once a year where you go on a trip and like that's your thing? But how often are you filling your cup? How often are you filling your cup? Now, mind you, get your journal, get your notebook, get your notes on your phone, so that you can be able to come back to this and really take some time to answer these questions. I'm big on reflection, big on giving you time to reflect. Like, yes, I want you doing the work, but this is also part of doing the work. And so how often are you filling your cup? How often are you filling your cup? And you need to be able to look at that, right? And so if it's daily, right, it's like, it's actually daily. Like for me, more than likely it's daily. Like I take a daily nap if I can. I do have, some quiet time that allows me to fill my cup so that I can be ready for the next day. If by some chance the week gets busy, I make sure that there is time during the week. I mean, during the weekend, or if, let's just say, I know Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be really busy. Then for me, Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend, like I'm intentionally taking time to refill my cup. And so for those of us who are big pourers, you need to make time for the big fill. For those of us who are big pourers, we need to make time for the big fill, right? And what ends up happening is we don't do that. What ends up happening is we do the big pour and then we get the little fill, and then we're still tired, we're still exhausted, and we're feeling some kind of way, right? And so then the next question is how intentional are you about filling your cup? Right? Is it just like, oh, I'll get around to it when I get around to it? Or is it, that I really need to make sure I'm filling my cup? I really need to make sure that, like, if I don't do this, then I don't operate at my highest capacity. You have to decide that filling your cup is just as much as a priority as pouring into others. Filling your cup is just as much a priority as as pouring into others. It is just as important, right? The work that you do is important, but so is taking the time to rest, replenish, and refuel, right? The next question I have is, what do you need to fill your cup, right? And so we're all different. We all need different things. You may not need a nap. I like naps. Naps help me to, settle myself. Do you need maybe a cup of tea? Do you need to go for a walk? Do you need to go on vacation? Do you need a nice hot bath? Do you need prayer time? Do you need all of the above? Like, what do you need to fill your cup? What do you need? The next thing I ask is, when's the last time you filled your cup all the way? Now, this was a good one when I was writing this, because I think a lot of times we're like, oh, I take time to fill my cup, but do you take time to fill your cup all the way? Like, is the cup full to the point of where you're giving out of your overflow as opposed to what belongs to you? And I think a lot of times we end up, it's kind of like, if you remember those, I remember the days specifically in college and even after college where when you need gas, but you don't have enough to fill it all the way up. And so you fill it just enough, just so you can get around to where you need to. And so sometimes, we find ourselves that way, emotionally, right? Mentally, spiritually, where we're getting just enough to keep moving, but it's not enough to replenish us, right? And so with our cars, there isn't such a thing as overflow, but there is such a thing as a little bit past full, right? I love the little bit past full, child, because you got like a few miles before it start moving. And so when you have that overflow, right, then what ends up happening is you can give out of your overflow. You can give out of what doesn't belong to you. And then what ends up happening also is that you don't feel the tug and the pull as much, because you know that you're not giving from your reserve. You're giving from what you can give away that doesn't belong to you, right? So the next question I have is, what's in the way of you filling your cup? These are good questions. I'm just going to tell you right now. I hope you take the time to answer them. If we were working together one on one, and just as a side note, I'm going to pause really quickly to let you know that I am still accepting coaching clients. I actually have I might have three spaces for my 3-month coaching. And so if you wanted to get started starting in October, and we could work all the way through to October to the end of the year, like you want to kind of just be ready for 2024 and close out Q4, inbox me, DM me, email me, and I'll put the information up. I will try to remember to put the information up at the end of the Tuesday Tea with D. But these are questions that I get to ask my private clients. These are the questions that I get to ask, even sometimes at iSpeaklife Live, because we're live, we're in person. And so we get the chance. And here's the thing that I think I really want to stress, and I may, do a video about this, but we actually do work. Like, I'm not just talking for 3 full days. Like, there's ministering happening, there's release happening, there's prayer happening, there is actually work happening. So when I'm asking you these questions, I'm giving you time to write them out. And then I want to know what you wrote and give you an opportunity to share, because a lot of times when you share in community, there are other people that are like, man, like I had that same answer, or you know what, I never even thought about that. So yes, I want you to take some time to do this alone. But sometimes you'll watch this video, you'll listen to it while you're in the car, you'll listen to it while you're in the shower, you'll listen to it or watch it while you're washing dishes, but you won't have your notebook and you won't do the work, and it'll pass, and then you'll come back next Tuesday for the next Tuesday Tea with D. But when you're in a room with me and when you're working with me, like privately, one on one, you can't escape the work. And so I want to encourage you that as I'm asking these questions, don't escape the work, right? Your revelation and your healing and your breakthrough and the answers and the clarity and the focus you need is in the work that you are not willing to do, or you're afraid to do, or you don't fully do. Okay. All right. So what's in the way of you filling your cup? Is it work? Is it, not feeling like you don't have enough time? Is it you don't have the money to do what you want to do? Is it, family, right? Like sometimes if you just, have all of these responsibilities of, whether it's being a wife or a mom or being a caregiver of a parent or a relative of some sort, like sometimes you just feel like your life is not yours. And so what is getting in the way of you filling your cup? What is it? Take some time to answer that question. um and here's the thing that I share in my notes is that you can't always be the one pouring and filling. And so sometimes I know, like when I'm asking, how are you filling your cup, and it's like, oh, I am, taking a nap, or I am doing XYZ. But sometimes you need to be listening to podcasts. And so for some of you, filling your cup is showing up every Tuesday for Tuesday Tea with D. Some of you is being a part of my inner circle. And you get to meet with me in the community every second and fourth Tuesday. For some of you, it's being in my incubator, which is an even deeper level of group community coaching. Some of you, it's private coaching, right? Some of you is part of my filling is being in community with Detra and checking in with her, but then also going to the event, right? Or it could be through my pastor, right? Showing up for church and Bible study so that I can allow someone to teach me as somebody who's always teaching other people. And so, again, making sure that you have others in your circle, in your community, who are doing for you what you do for everyone else. That is extremely important. And so, yes, it's great that you can make time to fill your own cup, but sometimes you need to be at events. You need to be in community. You need to be with your good girlfriends. You need to be maybe with your guy friends. Like maybe you need male perspective. Maybe if there are men watching, you need to be with your male friends. Like whatever it is, like sometimes it also has to be in addition to just you. You can't be the only one pouring and filling. Sometimes you just got to sit and let somebody just pour on you, like pour their love on you, pour their peace on you, pour their joy on you, right? To help you to fill your cup so that it's overflow, and also so that you can sit still, right? Sometimes you shouldn't have to be the only one doing. And then my last question is, how do you know when to fill your cup? How do you know when to fill your cup? I think this comes with self-awareness. I think that this comes with self-confidence. I think that this comes with even the Holy Spirit. Because sometimes we might be in the thick of a thing and Holy Spirit will say, hey, you need to sit down, you're doing too much, or you need to stop saying yes, or you can't do that next thing. And so, how do you know when you need to fill your cup? I think it is important for you to answer that question. I think it's important for you to ask yourself that question, because sometimes we don't even know we're on the brink of burnout. We don't know when we're on the brink of exhaustion until it hits, and we're like, man, like I was just going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny, and I had no clue. Like I really had no clue. And because I've been conditioning myself to continue to go without paying attention. And here's the other part: you don't need to be tired to stop and rest. And I think sometimes we feel like, well, I didn't feel like I was tired. This is not about being tired. This is about making sure that you are doing consistent maintenance of you, of your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, right? Your time, taking time to replenish so that you can show up as your highest and best self, right? God does not want us out here looking raggedy and crazy, in the for all for the name of ministry and all for the name of Jesus. Like that is why we have Sabbath. That is why we have times of rest. That is why we have intentional rest. That is why we pull away. That is why we sometimes we pull away to fast and pray so that we can fill our spiritual cup, and then even sometimes our emotional and our mental cup, because we're not tending to everybody else. And so I really want you to be intentional about the questions. And if you notice, even last week I had, given you some things to do, and these were questions. And so again, where do you go to fill back up? I'm revamping and recapping, I should say, the questions that I asked you so that you can either write them down or come back and answer them at another time. And so yes, it's great that you pour into others. Yes, it's you do amazing work, right? That's who you are. High capacity, like you can hold, right? But where do you go to fill back up? How often are you filling your cup? How intentional are you about filling your cup? What do you need to fill your cup? When's the last time you filled your cup all the way, not just a little bit? What's in the way of you filling your cup? And also, like, and who do you have in addition to you who's helping to pour and to fill your cup? And how do you know when to fill your cup? These are questions that I want you to think about. These are questions that I've had to think about. These are questions that I do think about, and maybe not in the way that I have typed them up here, but I'm always intentional around. I'm very self aware. So I can tell when I'm tired. I can tell when I'm stressed. I can tell when I'm tense. I can feel it in my body. I'm a feeler, right? And so and I just pay attention. And so something that doesn't feel like ease and peace and grace and flow, I know either it's something that's causing that I have to push through, meaning like this is a stretch for me, like I'm being stretched, or I need to pull back because I'm doing too much, right? And so only when there's the difference between, when you're being stretched and you just kind of have to weather the storm because it's a part of your development for the next phase you're stepping into, as opposed to you just going to sit yourself down, right? So I hope this was really good. Was this good? I hope this was good for you because it was really good. And I feel like this is going to be like a game changer for you. And I feel like if this is these are the kind of questions that you're not sitting down to ask yourself, I really want to invite you to join me in December for I Speak Life Live, because this is that event that I created for the woman who pours into herself but doesn't take the time to allow herself to be poured back into. And so I intentionally fill all the way up, so that I can empty myself out, not to the extent that I give you what belongs to me, but I empty myself out because I know that there are women who are coming and they need the pour, they need the fill, they need the community, they need the love, they need to unplug, they need to anchor their faith, they need to reconnect with themselves and reconnect with God, they need to rediscover their dreams. And so I like, if that's you, I want you to just stop feeling like, oh, well, I feel like I could do it on my own. You don't always have to do it on your own. And yes, there may be times, but sometimes, and I'll just tell you, and I've been saying it a lot, but the women who come, every single woman will tell you that they get what they need from the event, and every woman gets something different. And so whatever you need, however you need God to fill you up, however you need, and whatever you need in that space. And sometimes, and guess what? You can come not knowing what you need, just knowing that you want to be in the room. You don't have to know what you need to be in the room. You just know, like, you need to be there, right? You need to be in that space. If there is a level of elevation that is required of you, that requires you to sit, to unplug, to reconnect, to rediscover, and to anchor yourself in your faith so that that next level of you can show up fully healed and whole. So again, I'm going to put this here just so you can, go to iSpeaklifelive.com, iSpeaklifelive.com. General registration is $397. The 4 pay is $117. VIP is $697. The 4 pay is $207. And again, there are 2 VIP spots left. After that, it will be sold out. And then we will just fill up the room. And so I'm excited about that, because based on the size of the room, we're already 40% of the way there. And so, I'm excited to get the rest of you there. The other 60% of you, I want y'all in the room. I want your butts in the seats. I want your face in the place, and I want to be able to hug your neck. Okay. And so I want you to go to iSpeaklifelive.com, iSpeaklifelive.com, in order to register and plan to join me in Niagara Falls, New York, December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of 2023. Right. And again, if you want a little sneak peek, you are more than welcome to join me next Saturday, September 30th, from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for the prelude, which again is just little something, a little taste of what you are going to encounter and experience at I Speak Life Live in December. And so I do hope that, if you're thinking about coming and maybe you want to kind of, I don't know, I'm not here to convince you, but if you want to get in the room and you're like, I feel like I just, then come, right? Register. And so, with that being said, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like this post. Make this, I shouldn't say post, but the video. Make sure you comment below what resonated with you, what question resonated with you, what question maybe had you stumped. And then also, as I've been sharing for the last maybe couple of weeks, I want you to share this with 5 people. Take this link, text it to 5 people, and say, hey, watch this week's Tuesday Tea with D, and then also tell them to make sure that they subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am excited as we are nearing the last quarter of this year. And I will tell you that this year has been trying for me. It has been a little stressful. It has stretched me in ways that I didn't know that I could be stretched. But I am excited about the work that I get to do. I'm excited about the women and the men that I get to work with, because I do work with some men, y'all, even though you didn't know it. I do coach men. And so I'm excited about the work that I am called to do in marketplace and ministry. I'm called to both. I am called to minister to the church and the unchurched. And I am also called to share and to teach and to equip and to consult and to train. And so I'm grateful that I get to operate in the space that God has called me to operate in. And I'm grateful that you are here. I'm grateful that you follow, that you share all the things. And so with that being said, I look forward to seeing you next week on Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Yeah. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D.